starving children in besieged areas would, be all over the media, that this was a shame on Syria. And I said that it was very important that access be granted to us, humanitarian agencies, to all the besieged and hard-to-reach areas. Talking about these besieged areas for months and months. We've been trying to get into these besieged areas. It's very difficult. It's not an easy situation. Our colleagues are working round the clock. Our colleagues are losing their lives there. My appeal is really to the decision makers, to the political decision makers. You have to exercise all influence for the conflict to stop. That way there will be no more besieged areas. That way there will be no more hard-to-reach areas. That way we will be able to expand assistance to the whole of Syria. We're ready to do it. And that way, hopefully, there will be also return of refugees and displaced to their homes, which is really our ultimate objective. To all those that have a role to play in the peace process and influence over the parties, to the United States, to Russia, to Iran, to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to Turkey, and to all the countries that have an influence in this complicated peace process, none of them should be looking at those pictures of starving children without realizing that unless peace comes, we will see more of those pictures. But that they need resources to host them properly, in dignity. This is their concern, which is very legitimate. So our discussion was around that. How can we ensure, for example, that the burden of costly renewal of residency is lightened? For the refugees, this is a big cost. They have no money. How can we ensure that if they work, they're not considered illegal workers, but they have permission to work in certain categories of work, for example, agriculture? Some of it is already more or less agreed. Some of it remains unclear. The government is looking at clarifying all these issues, but in order to do that, it needs to have the necessary resources. This is why London, maybe not a magic wand, but can be very important for Lebanon. I know that the Lebanese government, as you probably know, is preparing interesting proposals in education, for example, or in employment, and I think we support that very much.